us your love. Keep our episodes on replay. Running back again like a DJ. And come talk it up. Candy, Sincerity. Sean J, you know the thing. New vibes come every week. New topics come and see. Big money, big business, free game. Come get it. We come together and keep winning. We winning. Come talk with us. Show us your love. Keep our episodes on replay. Running back again like a DJ. And come talk with us. Show us your love. Keep our episodes on replay. Running back again like a DJ. And come talk with us. Come talk with us. Come talk with us.
Hey everybody, come on in.
Hey.
Come on in the room. As we say, come one, come all, come big, come small. For those of you guys who have never been with us before, you have no idea where you found yourself. I am Candy Sincerity Johnson.
And according to the song, I am Sean J, honey.
Yes.
I got a whole nother persona, okay?
It's the Sean J for me, baby.
But I am Sean Johnson.
I love it. I love it. Do you like Sean Johnson or you like Sean J?
I like Sean J. They put a little edge on it.
I like it. Shout out to all of the best friends. Shout out to all of our subscriber best friends. Shout out to the best friends of the best friends.
Yes.
Girl, that's your friends. That's the people you bring in the room. That's the people who you invite. All of the things, girl. Shout out to everybody. Also, our replay community.
Yes.
Girl, our replay community is second to none. Girl.
Absolutely.
Ain't nobody playing over here in the comments. We love our replay community. So hi to Miss Bonnie, Miss Karen, Miss Gloria, Claudia, Dorethia, who else? Sheila. Who else did I miss? Kiera, Marlena. Who else did I miss?
Miss Oprah. Let's see. Miss Inez, Miss Catherine, Deona. Hey, love. Miss Brittany. She said, my girls.
Yay.
And Miss Sandra. Hello, Miss Brenda. And the list goes on. Hello, best friends.
Yes, yes, yes. Good evening to each and every one of you guys. Listen, excuse me. We got a fun topic on tonight. And let me go ahead for all the naysayers and for the people who are in the confused section. Okay? Let me go ahead and just clear the air. The question was raised on our video this morning. Girl, does this match the consecration? Does this match the spiritual journey that you're going on? The answer to all of the questions is yes, it do. Yes, it does. Sean and I will continue until we are led otherwise to bring forth trending topics, because just because the topics of what we teach is different in the morning, these topics are what's going on in the world today. And so we can learn from everything that's going on in the world today. I tell you guys all of the times, there's lessons and blessings everywhere you look.
Come on, lessons and blessings?
There are lessons and blessings everywhere you look. The question is, will you find them?
There you go.
Will you find them?
It's about looking at things through a different lens.
Yes, yes, yes. So there's something that the kids are talking about in the sandbox.
Yes. So the kids are starting to talk about something in the sandbox. It's just really kicking up. Okay. Because if you guys do not know, so many people are saying they love your glasses, by the way.
Thank you very, very much. These are Sincerity Johnson classics, girl. We used to carry these on the SJ website.
Absolutely. So, Comedienne Monique, love her, love her, love her. I have seen her in person before. Went to one of her shows years ago. Okay. We know her as an actress, a comedian, a wife, all of the things, right? So Miss Monique has gotten back out there. You know, she had some bumps in the road, you know, for a couple of years, and now she's back on the scene. She's done a movie, which is amazing, by the way. If you haven't seen it, check it out. She just recently released a comedy show on Netflix called My Name is Monique. And it just came out today. So new to the fact that I haven't even gotten a chance to see it. Now I got to go watch it based off of what we're talking about tonight. Okay. So Comedienne Monique came out with a comedy show today on Netflix that was released. And there's something that has got the kids' attention. So in this comedy show, she mentioned, or she had a story, if you will, a parable, as Candy likes to call it, where she stated that she confessed to her husband. Now, her husband, she's been married to for a long time. You know how?
How long have you been married?
I don't know. I should
Let me
look that
see.
up. Can you look that up for me?
I sure will.
She went ahead and told to her husband and admitted to a secret desire that she has, and that she has an attraction to women on an intimate level. And she recently came out and told her husband this. So this was shared during her comedy show. And I was trying to figure out, well, I ain't gonna say that yet. Okay, so this is what's going on. And so now the kids are talking about it. Talking about the fact that she shared this, and the fact that she went on to talk about how she was afraid to share this information because of ridicule that she thought that she would get from family, friends, etc., especially her grandmother, because her grandmother would talk about an aunt that she has who they affectionately call Uncle Tina.
Girl, that's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. They've been married 17 years, by the way.
17 years, okay? And so because of that, she did not want to share this information, but she has recently shared this information with her husband. And she went on and made a joke about it and carry on. But like I said, this is what I'm seeing on the clips that I've seen, and the information is being shared so far. But again, I'm going to go back and watch it on my own, probably maybe this weekend, I don't know. But that is the information that has been shared.
So let's recap. Buckle up, Buttercup, because you're in for a ride, okay? Listen, so to my knowledge, and let me make sure I'll fact check with you, because you gave some information and I was looking up some information and we were gathering information, okay? So to my knowledge, you're saying that there was a sketch of some sort.
Yes.
A comedic sketch is what we'll call it, best friends. Yes. There was a comedic sketch where the comedian, affectionately known as Monique, was on stage performing on behalf of the people. Yes. You know, she was performing for the people. During that time, she had what we like to call in church a coming to Jesus moment, huh? That's when the heart is open, huh? That's when the spirit is flowing. And that's when you feel real comfortable and real free. And that's when people start testifying or something. So she was on stage and she started to testify. And in the midst of her testifying, she shared with the people, She shared with the people that she feels feelings.
She feels feelings.
She feels feelings. And that she made her husband of 17 years, Mr. Sidney, aware of the fact that she feels feelings.
Yes.
And when she feels these feelings, she said, hey, I want a friend. I want a special kind of friend.
Oh my.
I want a friend. And it sounds like from what I gathered, Mr. Sidney said, I want a friend too. You want a friend and I want a friend.
Now, Sidney.
And we want a friend. We want a friend.
We want a friend together.
Am I understanding this to be true?
You have that correct. You are accurate in your synopsis.
So then what happened? Tell me more.
So then she jokes and she's like she said, my husband said, well, so do I. So find her. And and goes on with the joke and laughs and ha ha hee hee, right? Now keep in mind, we do know that it has been very open and very apparent, and they've discussed it on many talk shows, podcasts, etc., that they had an open marriage. I think that has ended because I saw some information saying that was no longer an option. Okay. So it's no surprise that he would be down for it, that Mr. Sidney would be like, hey, why not? Okay. So that's what the streets is talking about.
Okay. Demetria said, it was funny. She said, I watched it tonight. And she said, yeah, she said it. She said, hold on, best friends. Hold on. Somebody's talking in church. Kennedy and Caleb, I warned you. Your voice is too loud. You understand? All right. Listen. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So how did the joke or the parable or the scenario, how did that end?
See, I had to go watch it.
You just seen the clip?
Yeah.
We just rolling off the clip?
The beautiful being footage that was playing.
I don't know.
So my question is, so Catherine said, don't you think she has already dipped her foot in the water? She's just too much. She's funny, but not a very nice person. Well, that's what I see of her. Okay. But so this is what I'm trying to
do you think she's experienced?
I wouldn't be surprised.
So do you think that she has gone outside of her marriage and had an experience, and now she's toying with something, and she came back to him?
I don't know if it played out like that. What I do think, perhaps, is by them having an open marriage at some point in time, perhaps she had the opportunity to dip her foot in. Well, why wouldn't you? Why not? You know what I mean? Maybe perhaps it happened in the past and she played it off like it was just something that she was doing for her husband, but deep it down inside. Okay? This was something that she really wanted in the first place. We'd have to get Monique on here and ask her. Somebody tell Monique we want to talk to her.
Monique, I would like an interview. The best friends and I have questions that we think could benefit the community. The community, we would like to know. We would like to know. Best friends, here's why this conversation is so valuable. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that Sean and I have been doing lately, you guys have been witness to it. You've been a part of it. And we hope to see you in service on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Right.
Okay? Bright and early. One of the things that you guys have witnessed that Sean and I have done, and we've been very vocal and very transparent about it, is we have been tapping into our spiritual side. Mm-hmm. So you know that I don't operate in mess. We don't do a gossip channel. It's not that. We take trending topics and we look for different lessons that we can extract from that, different opportunities to learn from. Mm-hmm. So what we have before us is the perfect scenario that we can learn from.
Oh,
shall we?
Shall we?
Let's pick this apart.
We shall.
We have a black couple that have been married for a number of years. Mm-hmm. Okay. This family has children. They have had a lot of success. We've seen highs and lows in front of the camera, things behind the camera, and so forth. And there have been a lot of storms that this couple has weathered. Mm-hmm. This couple has been very vocal about having an open marriage at some point during the relationship, mm-hmm. right?
Yes.
So there are two different schools of thoughts mm-hmm. as it relates to this whole poly lifestyle.
Yes.
Right? There's a group of people who say that's wrong. Mm-hmm. There's no biblical merit to it. You know, God wants, husband and wife together, and there's no variation of any deviation from that. Mm-hmm. Right? Then there's people who are like, no, I'm in favor of it. I support it. It may or may not be for me, but I support it mm-hmm. because I see on the number of levels how we as a society probably need to move in that direction. Mm-hmm. So even looking at it from just a logical perspective, there are people who say, hey, women are starting to drastically outnumber men. So just based on math, just based on sheer numbers, we're going in that direction where that's no longer going to be even an option on the table. It's going to have to be a necessity to be able to sustain life.
Even Ayana would say that.
So, best friends, we had a trending topic, mm-hmm. which presented the opportunity for us to have a real conversation. Mm-hmm. Let's have the conversation. In my Larry Reed live voice, let's have the conversation. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, best friend?
Best friends.
What do you think? What do you think? If your significant other, somebody that you have been with for 17 years, came to you and said, I'm having same-sex tendencies.
That's insane.
I'm having same-sex tendencies. I want us to introduce somebody to the relationship, somebody to the dynamic, somebody to the marriage. What does that look like? Mm-hmm. What does that look like?
Lisa said, that's so nice of him. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Catherine said, listen to this. Catherine said, I believe someone will bring this out soon. She's coming out before someone else tells her story before she does.
Could be. That sounds like a truth. That sounds like a truth statement as well. Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Now that would be messy. Now, I'm in favor of, and this is just something to people who have a large social media platform, celebrities, people who are wealthy. If you fall in any one of those 3 buckets that I just named, you need to have everybody on the NDA. You have to, this is just free business game, okay? You need to have everybody on the NDA. Everybody has to be on the NDA. Close friends, business acquaintances, your assistant, everybody has to be on the NDA.
Now I have a question for you, because some people look at an NDA has a negative connotation, like, oh, you're trying to hide something. What do you think about that?
No. It's not about hiding anything, but private matters have to remain private. And sometimes what happens is we as human beings, we're with you when we're with you, but the minute the music changed and we're no longer dancing to the same beat, then people start to operate from a place of hurt. You see what I'm saying? And so, I mean, imagine the celebrity, because we've seen it play out so many times. You know, we've seen it with Tank, right?
Yep.
We see the scorned woman who, you know, has been left and she wanted more and she expected more and she didn't get it in the end. So then she starts slandering his name and defaming his character and doing all of this stuff in an attempt to ruin his career, and also in an attempt to block other women from wanting to be with him. So we see this play out all the time. So tying that into the situation with Monique, if it was a situation, if it was a scenario where, let's say, she befriended a woman, or her and this woman became good friends, and then over the course of time, the relationship transitioned from maybe a platonic friendship to becoming more, and she was trying to get ahead of the story, sis, it's too late. You gotta have that paperwork from the onset. You gotta have that paperwork from the onset. Now listen, best friends. Now listen. Sean and I, look, Monique and them celebrities and people with big platforms, they up here. Sean and I, we still on the come up. We still on the come up. You understand what I'm saying? We not Walmart. We not Macy's. We something like Target. Okay? You see what I'm saying? We Target out here in these streets. So if there was a scenario that jumped off with me, and maybe, you know, whatever, like, I'm sorry, you signed the NDA. Right? You're signing the NDA. You are, you know? And so if you're not willing to, then that says a lot in itself. That says a lot in itself.
Because sometimes people will be like, no, I'm not going to, so that they have an end goal in mind. Like, okay, because they're tucking their card in their breast to use it later, basically.
Yeah.
So some of the best friends answered your question about what would they do. Latoya said, looks like goodbye. Catherine said, 30 years, no thank you, but he may have a different opinion. Brenda said, I'm leaving. Tawana said, no, I ain't going to be able to do third parties. Kiera said, I don't share will, so that's a no for me. At that point, they can have them. Brittany said, I'm a married woman. I cannot fathom the thought of us bringing another individual in our lives. Marriage itself is tough. I already have a hard time compromising with my husband, let alone trying to make a trio work. Okay. So, yeah. Stephanie said they've had an open marriage for years. Why would this be a surprise? Anything goes in that relationship. Now, I don't necessarily think, and now this is just my humble opinion. I don't necessarily think that just because a couple has an open relationship means that anything goes. Because a lot of times, even though it's open, there's still parameters, boundaries, rules, however you want to call it, whatever makes you comfortable with it, that the couple abide by. So it's not just a free for all in most cases. Okay. So I don't necessarily think that anything goes.
Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know if anything goes or not. But here's what I will say. Here's the double standard. And if I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong. I find it interesting. You know where I'm going with this.
Yes, I do.
I find it interesting with humans where a woman can come in and tell her husband, listen, babe, you know, you and I have been married for 17 long years. And this is how this conversation played out in my mind, best friends. And Big Daddy, I love you a lot. You know, we've had a good run. But, you know, me and me and Stacy over here. That's a good middle-aged name. Okay. Me and Stacy over here, we've been spending a lot of time together. And so I'm interested in pursuing something with Stacy as well. So I find it difficult, best friends, that's acceptable. But why if the man comes to you? Now, why if the man comes to you and say, hey, Monique, hey. What happens if he say, hey, Monique, hey, me and Charles was down there shooting pool.
What?
We was down there shooting pool, and then,
What?
I want to spend more time. I want to spend more time over there.
With Charles?
Yeah. I want Charles to spend more time with us. You see how that go? You see how that go? You see how that go? You see how that go, best friends? And I'm not saying, listen, how you feel is how you feel. Mm-hmm. This is a safe space, best friends. This is to all the ladies that follow us. This is to all of the kings that follow us. This is a safe space. Yes. You ain't gonna get no judgment here. You get nothing but love over here.
Absolutely.
You get nothing but love regardless of the topic over here. Mm-hmm. But I just find it interesting how we as a society will accept certain things, mm-hmm. and in certain things we'll turn our nose up, and it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If this was a 7 o'clock hour, I would say God feels like that about sin. Y'all be wanting to do too much with the homosexuals, but y'all don't be saying all that when people be having premarital sex. I digress, but it ain't that hour. I'll save that for another day.
Let me keep going.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. But if we're gonna have a conversation, we gotta have a conversation. So I don't know, best friend. I don't know. I don't know.
And honestly, I don't know, because Monique seems very open-minded. Mm-hmm. I wonder if she would, if Sydney came to her and said that about Charles. I wonder if Monique would be like, okay, because just from conversations that I've seen her have, interviews and stuff like that, she seems like the type of woman that would be like, okay, let's talk about it, let's figure it out.
You think she would stay?
I feel like she would.
You think she would stay?
I feel like she would. As opposed to the majority of women who would be like, nah. Mm-mm. Wow. She just seems very open and understanding to me. But I could be completely wrong.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
Larry said, but Candy, you will let Charles in the relationship, but it's not for Sean.
But it's a no for Sean.
But it's a no for Sean. Okay, so Larry, I would. If this is a safe space, I would. And yes, it's a no for Sean. If we're gonna listen, if we're gonna have a safe space, let it just be a safe space, okay? It would be something. It would be a point of consideration for me probably years ago. Mm-hmm. Now I'm to the point where I will say no to anybody at this point. Here's why, Larry. I will say no to at this point because God has me on a different path. Had you asked me that question about a third party, had we had this conversation probably, let's say, a year ago, then my answer would have been different. God has me on a different path. So because God has me on a different path, I can't entertain outside energy. I just don't have capacity to. Mm-hmm. In addition to me not having capacity to, I don't think I'm called to that lifestyle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the whole poly lifestyle, I don't feel like I'm called to that lifestyle. And so the path that God has me on, unless it changes, mm-hmm. it's me, Sean, and my babies. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. So, I don't know, mm-hmm. but I can't judge, but I don't sit in a seat of judgment for somebody who comes to me and says, hey, this is where they are.
Yeah.
because at one point in time, I would have entertained. I would have been open to,
Yeah.
So, because I honestly feel like, and this is just my 2 cents, best friends, I feel like a lot of people are in what we call a throuple, a 3-way relationship. A lot of people are in a throuple and they don't know it. You sharing and don't know it. And you've been having an inkling for a long time. And then when the cat fall out the bag, you get mad. But you knew.
And you falling apart.
But you knew. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I only said that part.
Yeah. What you got?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're only not okay with it because now you are in the know?
Yeah.
Because what really changed? I don't know.
So, best friends, I knew this man. Let me tell you a little parable. Okay? I knew this man. This man was a middle-aged man, and him and his wife had been together. They had been married for about 20 years. Well, he was a good man, or is a good man. I'm not going to talk about him like he's not here no more. He's a good dude. I'm talking about a solid man. He works 2 jobs, comes home with both checks, but he does what he does on the side. The situation got so out of control to the point where he started on weekends staying out every weekend. Now, all bills are paid. He brings 6 figures in the house. He's a good guy. He loves his children. He takes care of her. He takes care of her, their children. And he's even good to her mom. You understand what I'm saying? But the situation got out of control to the point where that Saturday morning, she gets up with their high school teenage kids, and she's getting ready to get kids off to practice, and he ain't hit that door yet.
But didn't you say he was staying out on weekends anyway?
He was staying out, but the staying out became later and later.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? Staying out was 4 a.m, but them kids still sleep.
I see.
Now you tiptoeing in. Now we taking kids to practice at 9, and you still ain't showed your face.
I see.
So then it became a blow up at the house. So he was sharing with me that it became a blow up at the house. And I told him, I said, well, she always knew. Because a man that's constantly gone until 4 a.m. ain't in the company of somebody who he's not, whatever, right? I don't care who it was. He might have did go down to the pool hall with Charles. You might legit be with Charles. And that's fine too. Okay?
Right.
Okay. But the point of the story is this, best friends. He started to get sloppy. And it was in him getting sloppy that really sent her over the edge. So as he was sharing the story with me, he couldn't understand why she was getting so upset. And it's because she had set up unspoken rules. Yeah. She had outlined unspoken boundaries where she was tolerant of the situation to the point where she was going to bed telling herself a certain story to allow her to be able to stomach what she knew was going on. Wow. It was the point where you're now walking in the door as the kids are up moving around and they now have questions. That was the deal breaker for her. You see what I'm saying?
Like, where you been?
Exactly. That was the deal breaker for her.
Dad, did you run to the store and get some more milk?
Right. That was the deal breaker for her. And so therein lies the blow up at the house. And so he was like, well, how do I course correct? Well, y'all going to have to course correct either at home, having very difficult conversations that are going to get emotional and going to get escalated, or y'all going to have to sit down in counseling and outline what the situation looked like, what's happened. You're going to have to answer tough questions. You're going to have to be transparent and honest, and you guys are going to have to figure out how to move on from here. What does that look like? Because the thing about Pandora's box, best friends, is when you open it, you can't never close it back. So we as women are guilty of it, myself included, where you always want to know the whole story. Mm-hmm. But it's not about wanting to know the whole story. The question then and the question now is, can you handle what you find out?
Tawanda made a good point. She said he'd gotten to the point where he didn't care.
Could be. Mm-hmm. Because see, the thing about having good friends that are males is that I don't have a dog in the fight.
Right.
So I get the true story. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not finna jump up and bust him in his mouth. You understand what I'm saying? So when I ask the tough questions, I got to the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. He's falling in love over there across town.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You start staying a little bit longer.
So it's becoming harder to leave. Mm-hmm. So now, not only do you have a divided house, you got a divided heart.
Ooh. Oh.
Huh?
Wow.
Somebody missed it. What do you do, best friends, when you stop having a divided house and you start dealing with the reality that you got a divided heart? Mm-hmm.
So I would like to read this comment from Miss Andrea, because Miss Andrea, I appreciate your honesty and I appreciate your courage, because a lot of people wouldn't be willing to share this. Mm-hmm. Again, this is a judgment-free zone, so make sure everybody stay within their boundaries. Okay. Andrea said, in full transparency, I was in a situation very similar to the one Candy just described, but I was the other woman. The wife even called me several times because I was her greatest threat. I eventually exited the situation because I felt I deserved more and God was moving me to another level.
I love that. Thank you very much, best friend, for your transparency. Mm-hmm. And listen, over here, you're safe.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Over here, you're safe. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't speak about everybody else's situation and how they set the tone in the room, mm-hmm. but over here, everybody is safe. Mm-hmm. Everybody is safe.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, best friends. Most of y'all was in Brittany's seat too.
No, not Brittany, Andrea.
Andrea, I'm sorry. Most of y'all was in Andrea's seat too. Mm-hmm. Now, how many times have you talked to a man, have you talked to a woman, and things was going well? And y'all going down this path, and then all of a sudden it fall out the bag that he with somebody, he live with somebody, he lie and tell you they just roommates, they getting a divorce, this, that, and the third, but he never disclosed that information up front.
Ever.
He ushered you into that situation. And oftentimes you are knee deep into the situation and your emotions are entangled. Mm-hmm. When somebody dropped that bomb on you. What you gonna do?
That's
what you gonna do?
That's where Jada called it an entanglement. I think that was like what she meant by that.
An entanglement. Mm-hmm. Girl, me and Sean been there.
Oh yeah.
Girl, we was there. We talked about it in our book, Moments of Redemption. Yeah. We talked about it. Mm-hmm. And that's not a fun place to be. Mm-mm. Because let me tell y'all, best friends, it took me years. It took me years to move past that situation. And I think that was my punishment from God. Because I had operated in a space where when it comes to the game of love, I move like a game of chess. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was completely vulnerable to my wife at the time. And I let her in completely. And my wall and my guard was down to her completely. But then when Sean did certain things to hurt me, I put that guard back up. Mm-hmm. And so I went outside of the relationship and the marriage only for, I was seeking like the attention. Mm-hmm. It was initially the attention of it all. It was somebody telling me that I was attractive. It was somebody interested in my conversation. It was somebody who, told me that I was very intelligent and stroked my ego. So initially it was the attention of it all. Mm-hmm. But then there was something on her end that she was missing that I felt. And so two broken people came together. Mm-hmm. without intending on doing it. And then over time, we started to work to heal each other in ways, but we aggravated each other in ways because two undeveloped people can't come together and heal. It can't happen. So it became destruction. You got to do, what do we always talk about? You got to do that root work. And so neither of us had done that root work. And so God allowed me to be in the midst of that mess, in the midst of that situation. And I ended up falling head over heels for this woman. To the point where I didn't know if I was coming or going. You understand what I'm saying? And Sean dealt with me during every aspect of that. You know, and so, best friends, when I say we done been through some stuff, we done been through some stuff. But I feel like my punishment was, my karma of the situation was, it was very much so like God was almost saying, somebody played with your heart and you didn't like it. You felt the way. So whether you intended on doing it or not, your actions allowed you to go out here and play with somebody else's heart. She's going to play you. She's going to play you. She's going to eat you up and spit you out. And you're going to spend the next several years dealing with what other people felt like when you did it to them. Let me tell you something about karma, best friends.
Ain't no time limit on that.
When she get in that car and she spin the block, when she get in her car and she spin the block, girl, you don't have no control over how long it take her to come back around. You don't have no control over how bad that pain is going to be. But I had to deal with it. And it was that situation that made me really start doing the initial root work. And so by the time Sean and I did all of that digging and all of that unpacking and all of that therapy and all of that crying and lashing out at each other and all of what came with it, by the time we came back together, we were better than we had ever been before. So I don't know. I would say I owe her a thank you, but baby, listen, let me be the first to tell you, best friend. Like we say, either you find out through a lesson or you're going to find out through a blessing. That, my friend, was a lesson. That was a lesson. That was a whole and dignified lesson.
So Larry said, Sean, can I ask why you were steadfast in that situation? Well, there was a few different reasons, Larry. First of all, because you probably don't know, so let me bring you up to speed. I was not innocent in the situation. So I was actually first to step out of a marriage on an emotional level. So I was definitely moving and acting in a way that a married woman should not. Okay.
But I thought it was physical too.
Right. Candy thought it was physical as well. Okay. So that's the first thing. I think what I had to also understand is that I love this woman. And I was under the understanding and the knowing that if I loved her, I have to love everything about her. Meaning that if this was a situation where she needed or wanted someone else to completely fill her up, I wanted to honor that. Even though it hurt initially because I couldn't deal with it, and that's just being honest. I still was willing to be there and be that, because I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, I would be arrogant to say that I am the woman that can fulfill every single need, desire, want, everything all the time. And she would never, ever be attracted to anyone else or want anybody else. And so because of that, that was the reason why I said, okay, let me deal with the hurt that I initially feel. But let me then say, okay, if I love this woman and I want to be with this woman, this is a part of who she is and this is a part of what she wants.
That's why I'm telling y'all. And this is totally a pitch for y'all to come join us at 7:00 in the morning, Central Standard Time. When y'all see us praying, reading scripture, and we're literally, and you listen to me dissect how I interpret the word, or give you guys what God downloaded to me, y'all have no idea how many nights we beat the sun up, crying and laying before God, asking God to restore our love for each other, restore our faith in each other, restore our relationship, fix our situation so that we can come together and raise the kids, not just for the sake of saying that we back together, but actually being happy about it.
Yeah.
Getting past the anger, the hurt, the frustration, the disappointment, and all of that. In the process, losing loved ones, dealing with sickness, y'all, we've been through it.
Yeah.
We have been through it. And the worst of it all, y'all still ain't even heard. It's coming out in the next book. You understand what I'm saying? And so with all that being said, when you see us, we're genuinely coming from a position, from a posture of saying, yo, we're not perfect. That's why when best friend was telling her testimony in the comments, baby, I already know how that goes. I know first ladies who sat in that seat. You understand what I'm saying? This is real. And so I really truly believe, best friends, if I could be transparent, one of the reasons why the church and so many people in leadership, when it comes to your walk of faith, one of the reasons why people can't reach the people is because nobody's willing to be transparent.
Yep.
Transparency is uncomfortable. It makes you look weak. It makes you look like a hypocrite sometimes. It makes you
look foolish.
Yes, it makes you look foolish. It makes you look vulnerable. You embarrassed. Your spouse embarrassed. Girl, everybody embarrassed. But for God, there go I. You understand what I'm saying? But for God, there go I. And so somebody's breakthrough is tied to your ability to just be able to say, you know what, I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to be transparent. Because I don't know if it's a part of me turning 40. I don't know if it's a part of me losing my father. But this is what I do know, best friends. You ain't got a heaven or hell to put me in, and I ain't got a heaven or hell to put you in. So once we get past the shock and the awe of other people's opinion of me, I ain't got nothing to lose. Because if I'm being transparent, one of my biggest reservations about coming forward and walking in my calling was me feeling like I went back to being an 18-year-old little girl. I went back to being an 18-year-old little girl. And I was like, oh, the church is going to shun me. I'm an openly lesbian woman. You know, I'm walking a path where, you know, more so than not, I'm likely going to remarry Sean. What does this look like for my family? It's one thing to bring ridicule or judgment towards me, but to do it towards Sean and my children, that's off limits. And so I didn't want to be vulnerable. And so I ran from it. Look at what God has done over here on this platform in 2 days, in less than a week. I don't know. I don't know what we're going or what we're doing. But I do know that trending topics like this don't just happen. It's a part of the plan.
It is. And it forces you to have the conversations that are either uncomfortable or you don't want to have, or you feel is taboo, or whatever the case is. And that's the problem with a lot of us. We're not having the conversations that we're supposed to or need to have.
Yeah. Everybody's too busy trying to look perfect. But looking perfect ain't got us nowhere. And I'm not saying that you should just start you a Facebook page and just go live several times a day telling your business, because what works for one don't work for all. You understand what I'm saying? Transparency worked for us. But it's so freeing in telling your story to the point where can't nobody break the door open. Can't nobody kick the door open and tell y'all something about us that we ain't already told you. Nothing. You know, there's nobody from my past that can come out and say this or that. There's nobody from Sean's past. We told the story before you see what I'm saying? And God knew what we were doing through our sins, through all of our mess. And so I just feel like somebody's breakthrough is tied to our vulnerability and us sharing our story. Yeah. And as we see celebrities sharing theirs, it's almost like, I don't know, it's so freeing. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, don't you agree? Mm-hmm. It's almost like, y'all know we got a Yorkie, and our Yorkie is literally a house dog. And so it's almost like if we let him outside without a leash,
he would run.
Girl, he would just run. Girl, he would just run until he needed a pacemaker.
Right.
He would run. You see what I'm saying? But living in your truth is so freeing. It's so freeing, best friends. Mm-hmm. And that's really, to me, that's where the work comes in. That's where the people connect with you. Mm-hmm. Which is why I told sis, I said, baby, this is a judgment-free zone. I would never have a conversation about God and introduce the topic where we're having a vulnerable conversation where everybody feels comfortable being open, and somebody comes forward and they're vulnerable and they're telling their truth or sharing their story, mm-hmm. and people get in the comments and they start, I would never allow that.
Right. Absolutely.
It's triggering for me. It mm-hmm. takes me back to being 18 and growing up in church.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This community, this platform is that bridge between you and your creator. That's judgment free. Mm-hmm. Where you can come here, you can get loved on unapologetically without ever having to feel like you're not enough.
Right.
This is where everybody is welcome. The only way somebody will be ever asked to leave or blocked or anything like that is if they're just blatantly disrespectful mm-hmm. in the comments, to other people.
Yeah.
But outside of that, everybody is welcome. I don't care your color, your nationality, your religious affiliation. I don't care about none of that. Mm-hmm. I don't care about your sexual orientation. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. All the judgment, look at where it's gotten us all these years. Look at where it's gotten us. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Makita said, I'm so glad I caught this live. Moving forward, thanks. Melanie said, ladies, this is a deep conversation tonight.
It is.
Makita said, y'all speaking to me. I'm listening. Mm-hmm. Annette said, truth. ATP said, I was taught that we all bleed red blood, and that's the bottom line.
That's it.
Makita said, I love the transparency. I needed to hear this, ladies. Oh, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. Larry, so I don't understand your question. Larry.
No, he was messing with me. Oh. Larry said, girl, why you got on that red? You normally have on black, because me and you be matching, girl.
Oh, got you.
Me and you be matching. Larry,
I'm tripping because for whatever reason, the comment, I didn't see all of that. And that's why I was like, what? He didn't know why you got on. I was like, huh?
No. Baby, I had this on earlier, and Sean had on something different. Girl, I don't know what she went upstairs and did. We wasn't matching earlier, but we were a little bit better than this. But I should have had on black, because y'all know I got like 50 black V-necks. I'm telling y'all, best friends, I got about literally about 50
she does.
Black V-necks. I got them in size medium, large, extra large. I got the faded ones. I got the brand new ones. I got the ones that button up, the ones that just have the V just like this. Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
Scoop neck.
Yeah. All that. What you say, scoop neck?
Yeah.
What's a scoop neck?
Circle.
Oh, you got them. Like a turtleneck? I got no turtleneck.
No, like a regular t-shirt, fool. Like the regular.
What's a scoop neck?
Scoop neck.
What's a scoop neck? Google scoop neck.
Best friends.
It's called a scoop neck?
Scoop with a P. Like a circle.
Scoop. That's just a round neck. Girl, you calling it a scoop neck. Girl, that's a Chicago thing. No, it's a round neck. Girl, I might have a no neck. I might have a no neck.
Who said King and D?
I don't know. My English is bad. I don't know, y'all. Listen.
Hold the phone. Hold your mule.
A scoop neck. Is that what they call it in real life?
Babe.
I used to work at JCPenney. We didn't sell scoop necks.
Babe, a scoop neck tee. It's just a round. That's
a titty top.
Look.
This lady got on a titty top. Hers go all the way down. That ain't safe. She need consecration. That lady got on a titty top. She do. She's not safe.
Back on task.
Okay. All right.
Just because she just told you.
But that lady, look, Sean showed me the picture, girl. The lady got on, y'all ever see the girls, y'all know, y'all seen the girls where they got on,
where it shows you cleavage.
Look, hers don't just go in a circle. Hers go, whoop.
That's a deep scoop.
Nah, that's a titty top. That's a titty top. Ask y'all grandmama. If your grandmother still living, call grandmama and say, grandmama, describe a titty top. That's a titty top. That's a titty top.
She don't thank you. Maybe that's what I should have said. You said it in the right way. A crew neck.
A crew neck. Okay. Yeah, we used to sell them down at the JCPenney. We did. You know, y'all know that was my first job. You know, down when I was 16, I worked down at the mall. I did.
Lord have mercy.
And we sold a lot of crew necks. They had this brand. It was called St. John's Day.
Oh yeah,
St. John's. Yeah. That was their number one brand. Yeah. And so we sold a lot of crew neck shirts. But then when the grandmamas would come in, they'd be like, "That's a titty top." Yeah.
That's it, Candy. How are you so intelligent in some areas?
Girl, listen, because it's only like best friend Dot. It's only like really like 3 areas that are like my jam, and everything else, girl,
it's irrelevant. Kiera said those shirts now have a new name for me, a titty top.
Yeah, that's a titty top. That's a titty top, girl. That is a titty top, girl. That's what they should put on the tag.
Now, everybody, whenever you wear a shirt like that has a low front, I need you to take a picture and post it on your Facebook. Tag her.
Yeah.
And say, Candy, I got on my titty top.
It's nice outside, girl. The best friend's gonna be like, it's nice in Texas. It's nice in Florida. Girl, LA is busting. I got on my what?
Titty top.
That's it. Yes, girl. The sun is beaming down here in the Bay, girl. They're gonna be like, Atlanta is cracking. Girl, I got on my what? Arizona is busting. I got on my Yes.
OMG.
Miss Margaret said, good night, best friend.
Good night, Miss Margaret. You know Miss Margaret gonna be having me get up, girl.
Yes, Miss Margaret gonna be on. She gonna probably be on one about 7 o'clock.
Oh yeah. Miss Margaret usually be at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. I got a good word for y'all on tomorrow. I got a good word. I got a scripture download, so I need to unpack that scripture when we get off of here. Mm-hmm. I need to meditate over that scripture and see, girl, what thus saith the Lord for in the morning.
I got a good prayer for us too.
You gonna pray?
Yeah.
You gonna pray? Oh.
If you will have me.
Yes, of course. Girl.
Darling, you said yes. It shows the top of the titty.
That's it. That's exactly what it do. It's a little peekaboo. You can call it a peekaboo top, or you can call it, a titty top. Either one work. A peekaboo top or a titty top.
That was probably the best way to end this video.
Yeah.
For the best friends.
That's it, best friends.
Oh, Lord.
That's it. I love each and every one of you guys. I don't know if you've heard that today. If nobody else has told you, shame on them, not shame on you. But I love each and every one of you guys, and there's nothing you could do about it. We always say when we end every video, what, babe?
The absolute best is yet to come. We got work to do.
Do we? We do. He's still working on me, girl. Because I would. This is why I couldn't be a pastor in a real pulpit, like a church pulpit. Because, girl, I'll be talking about the titty top. Good night, y'all.
Good night.